Welcome to this edition of the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Today we're going to bring you yet another interesting story, go on a bit of an adventure, and we're so happy to have you come along with us. I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and why don't we get started on this little journey right now. It seems that over the past few years, maybe perhaps even a decade, there has been this nasty little practice known as sexting, in which you use a communication device, such as a cell phone, a computer, tablet, what have you, to send sexually oriented and very suggestive language or photographs of yourself or others through the airwaves for whatever gratification should come thereafter. Well, between consenting adults, and I will say again, adults, there is really no illegality towards this. But it takes a wicked and nasty turn when juveniles are involved. Such was the case down in Louisiana when a 17-year-old male and a 16-year-old female began this practice of sexting. And that's going to be our focus. I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and we're glad you're with us. Okay, as I said before, it happened down in South Bossier City, Louisiana. The subject, Levar Allen, 17 years old, was a standout three-sport student at Parkway High School in same city, South Bossier. He was charged with child pornography after sexting with a 16-year-old girl numerous times. In fact, as story has it, she started it. She initiated it. She sent him one, and then instead of using his common sense, he decided to become a raging hormone, I guess, and reciprocate, and that started a mad dash between these sexting, sends back and forth. Now, you might say in and of itself, well, okay, that's not such a big story. Well, it came to light on the news and through the newspapers. But when a prominent, I guess, reporter of a prominent New York newspaper got hold of it, it started taking a racial overtone. Well, it was overturned because they found out that this black 17-year-old Levar was texting a white 16-year-old girl. And now we've got a racial card being played. Okay, let's look at this from all sides. You're the mother and father of a 16-year-old girl, your baby, your little sweetheart, your little darling. And for however reason it came about, you maybe wanted to use her phone, and then you hit the wrong button, and then hear all of these sexually explicit photographs of your sweet little darling, your little baby, your little girl doing suggestive things to herself. And then you maybe scroll a little further and you're in further shock when you see a boy doing suggestive things to himself on her phone. Okay, two things come to play here. Ask yourself this question. What normal, reasonable parents of a 16-year-old girl, I don't care if she's plaid, white, black, chartreuse, what parents of a 16-year-old girl are going to look at said suggestive pictures of their sweet little baby darling, their sweet little baby girl, and say, oh, here's my little girl blinking herself. That's so cool. Wow, I didn't know she had it in her. Most parents I know of are going to take, first of all, great shock at seeing this. Then there's probably going to become the denial. No, this can't be my little Denise. This can't be my child doing this. Then there's going to come anger. Who drew her into this? Why is she doing this? Where did she get this from? Okay, this 16-year-old girl's parents were probably those kind of parents. Moral fiber, found it very appalling to see their daughter in this situation. What was the first thing come to mind? I'm calling the cops. Why? Because she is 16 years old and this is a crime. It's called child pornography. They call the police officers. They come out, get the information, yada, yada, yada. There's a name given. That name is Levar Allen. They go and check him out, check out his phone, find out that there's been this sexting going on back and forth probably a month or so. They arrest him, send all the information over to the DA's office. He's charged with child pornography. In the state of Louisiana, and if with your permission, I will read this law. In Louisiana, people younger than 17, that would be the girl, are prohibited from knowingly and voluntarily using a computer, cell phone, or other telecommunications device to transmit indecent images they take of themselves. It is also a crime for someone younger than 17 to have or transmit an indecent image that was transmitted by another person younger than 17 who took the image of him or herself. Louisiana Revised Statutes 14.81.1.1. That's the law. Now, whether or not the parents were appalled because the guy was black, that's between me and you and the gatepost. But the major thing here is this guy, Levar Allen, 17, which I guess is considered first stage adult like 18, committed a crime because he accepted this pornography that she sent to him initially, which he should have reported her to the police, and then she would be in trouble. But no, what did he do? He became a raging hormone, and he started reciprocating by sending her the thing as well. Clear-cut case of child porn. He's sending it, he's receiving it. Now, according to this black news reporter, this is a clear-cut case of racism. Because the parents of the white girl didn't like that the black boy was sending sexting with his daughter. And all the kids are doing it. That is a poor, and I reiterate, poor example of something wrong. That it's accepted. You know, like I said so many times, wrong is the new right in this society. Sexting between minors is a bad thing. If you are a consenting adult, whichever the laws in your state dictate as being consensual and making you an adult, whether it's 17 or 18, then okay, if that's what you want to do, then fine, you know. But as I said before, when minors come into this, it's a different story. And that's where we are. Now, I took a look at some Caucasian reportings of this very same story, and the reporting was shocking. They went to the police officer that I guess had something to do with the arrest or what have you. And he said, yes, this is what happened. A crime was committed. For anyone to stand there and say that this was racially motivated, I don't have anything to do with that. I deal in criminal acts. A criminal act was committed, and we acted upon it. What this black reporter of this New York paper failed to let out to the public was that these said police officers went to every school in Bossier City talking about sexting and the consequences thereof. Went to every school, had assemblies, had meetings with students to let them know beyond a shadow of a doubt what would happen if they engage in this activity. Mr. Allen failed to heed the warnings of law enforcement. And, went on sexting with this girl. It came to the light, and now his butt's in trouble. $15,000 worth. His mother's got to go through $4,000 or more in legal fees to help this guy out. Now, the things that were going on in the news and in the papers with him were fine. He was, being praised for his sporting abilities and what have you. It was said, and I guess this was by the mother, that he's been a good boy. He's been well liked, no problem until now. Well, if he's such a good boy, then why did he engage himself in this? Would the hormones get to him? He got a little horny there, It is a simple cut and dry case of a guy committing a crime and a guy getting caught. Now, whether or not this law is firmly, if you get caught doing it, they're going to get you and they're going to put you away. Obviously, it doesn't happen because further down it says, the law lacks the nuance it deserves and ultimately criminalizes common youth behavior between peers. So, you may get gotten sometimes, or you may not get gotten. It depends on the parents. Some parents may say, hey, what is this garbage? Don't do that no more. I'm going to take your phone away from you for 2 months. You're going to be on punishment. You're going to be grounded. And you're not going to see the light of day for a while. And if I ever catch you doing that again, you're going to have hell to pay. And other parents may do just what this girl did and report it to the police. Now, what are the police supposed to do? Oh, well, this is a black boy who texted a white girl, so I'm going to immediately prosecute. Or, well, maybe we'll just let it slide under the rug because we're trying to be racially correct these days. No, it is a police officer's job, once they have been called on the scene, to gather all the evidence and information that they can to present to the district attorney so that they'll see whether or not there's a case. That's their job. They did nothing wrong. It was Mr. Allen who did something wrong when he received this girl's sext and then acted upon it in a bad way. If he had gone to the police and said, look, this girl is sexting me, and I know because of what you guys told me how much trouble I can get in, do something with her, please. But he chose to go left, and now he's in a heap of trouble. No racism here. Pure and simple. He committed a crime, and now he's going down for it. Parents, you need to, get a hold on your kids. Now, obviously, I don't know the situation because I don't know these two people personally, but I would gather, from the way I know parents and kids today, the phones were probably purchased by the moms or the dads or what have you. Well, this Allen guy, he's the parent, the child of a single parent. So mom probably bought him a phone. He's doing good in school. He's getting all A's. He's good on the sports team. He's, just her baby boy. So she gets him a cell phone. On the other hand, this girl that's a part of this story, mom and dad probably gets her a cell phone. You got to control your kids. You got to be watching what they're doing because there's so much crap out there that they can get involved with that is not good for them. You've got to be proactive as a parent, or at least you need to be. It's not for me to say what you got to do, but you need to be proactive. That way you hopefully can keep your kids out of trouble. A lot of parents raise their kids up and, with the best core values they can. And sometimes they go on through life and do the right thing and become, productive, upstanding citizens in the community. Others may fall by the wayside. Others totally fall by the wayside and really start doing some crazy stuff. But you got to be proactive. Say, okay, if you want to engage in this sexting, then I'm going to cut your phone off. I'm going to, at least if I don't turn it completely off, I'm going to break it down so that you don't have texting on your phone. You'll only be able to communicate with your dad and I if it's an emergency. But I'm not going to allow you to get yourself in trouble by doing this activity. So, what's it going to be? Either give me the phone or I'll break it down to its lowest common denominator, but you're not going to do this. Who's going to be the parent? Who's going to be the kid? But as far as Mr. King, this reporter who is black, working for the New York newspaper, he wants to play the race card here. You're wrong as two left shoes, pal. You're just trying to get your little 15 minutes of fame, your little byline, but you're full of crap. This guy committed a crime, and now he's going down for it. So stop playing the race card. You're ridiculous. The guy doesn't get a free pass because he's black and you're black. He certainly is not going to get a free pass from me because I happen to be black. If you do a crime, you got to do the time. And if he's such a good boy, such a smart boy, then he should not have indulged this 16-year-old girl, whether she was white, chartreuse, or gray for that matter, in this criminal act. She's 16. She is a minor. He's 17. In this state, he's first stage adult. He was wrong as two left shoes. And his mother, if she is trying to hold him up in what he did by saying that she believes it's racially motivated, the woman is got her head stuck in the sand. Grow up, woman. Your child committed a crime, and he's going down for it. And if he commits another one, he's going to go down for that one too, whether he's black or not. A criminal act is a criminal act. Child pornography. Dig it. Dig it hard. You got anything to add, Exec, before we close it out?
Pretty much echo the same thing. People need to stop trying to find other reasons to, say that it's okay or say that someone did something wrong by reporting something. You need to look at it more like everybody has red blood unless you have that rare condition that makes it green, which usually isn't the case. Everybody's got red blood, and the person that owns that blood committed a crime, and therefore they need to serve the punishment for that crime. His race has nothing to do with it. He's just trying to make it blow it out of proportion more than it is and make it more viral than it's supposed to be, and like you said, get more fame for his New York Times or whatever magazine in New York it was. My question is, the female did the same thing. She sent child pornography of herself. She should be in jail too. The parents shouldn't be allowed to stand up for her and say that she shouldn't be in jail if they're doing that, which they probably are being her parents, but she needs to be in jail too for committing the same crime as the other guy did. And it's just disgusting how people are nowadays, sending nasty pictures back and forth and stuff like that. If they're willing to do that with a phone, what else are they willing to do? You have to watch them when they're out on a date or whatever,
Yeah, they went to the same school.
They want to have a kid prematurely instead of when they're married or something like that, And it's ridiculous how nasty these kids are nowadays. You hear so many stories about, kids getting pregnant in high school and stuff like that. I've seen kids in the subway, and they look like they're about 14 to 17, and she got a big old belly or already has a baby in the carriage. I'm wondering if that's someone's baby they're taking care of, or is it their own? Mm-hmm. But sometimes you see the belly hanging low, and they look like they're barely 17. It's ridiculous why and how sex is so damn important to some young people. And it's crazy. Like you said, it's nothing to do with race. A crime is committed, period. And that's about all I have.
I mean, the rationalizations behind most anything. I mean, you take this bathroom. I don't want to go off subject here, but this bathroom thing. People have been going to the bathroom ever since people have had a need to go to the bathroom. Now here's this big furor whether or not transsexuals can go to the same. I mean, if you're that confused about going to the bathroom, then take your butt out in the woods and go defecate behind a tree. I mean, come on. This is stupidity, people. Plain and simple. Just get yourselves mixed up in all of this stuff, and then you want to play a race card, or you want to rationalize it and spin it a certain way. The guy committed a crime. The guy is in trouble. Okay? Hopefully, he will have learned some sense. Hopefully, his mother will have learned some sense. And I understand she's the mother of three. Hopefully, the three, I think he's the oldest. Hopefully, the other two will learn some sense from this and do the right thing if somebody else does the wrong thing. Because, I mean, what people are doing today in this society, it just defies all kinds of logic. So having said that, whew, boy, it is the weekend at the taping of this show, and if you've liked what we've done here and wish to subscribe to us, there's a little button right there. You can tap on that if you so desire. We'll be more than happy to have you come aboard. We want you to, have a good weekend, have a fun weekend, keep it safe, and we'll see you again next time right here on the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Bye-bye now.